Roller, Burks, and Wonkers, or how to translate Latin into lovely English. When it comes to translating Latin into English, the real joy comes in doing what Latin teacher after Latin teacher begs you to do. Be more imaginative. Mons, whoever said, Sejanus needing to be promoted and join the centurions to go buy a visit from home. Much better to say, Sejanus was so desperate to curry favor with the emperor that he ordered all the centurions to quit the city by nightfall, and he'd have their balls carved off the traitor's gate of Tiberius' palace by sunrise. Here is the potential pitfalls of translation. Citation. But writers, and especially scientific, political, and sociological writers, are nearly always haunted by the notion that Latin or Greek words are arranged with Saxon ones, and unnecessary words like expedite, ameliorate, predict, extraneous, deracinated, clandestine, subgenuous, and hundreds of others constantly gain ground from their Anglo-Saxon numbers. The jargon peculiar to Marxist writing, hyena, hangman, cannibal, petty bourgeois, gently, lackey, flunkery, mad dog, white guard, consists largely of words translated from Russian, German, or French. But the normal way is calling new words is to use a Latin or Greek one, root, with appropriate affix and, where necessary, to size formation. It's often easier to make up the words of this kind. Virginales, impresimible, extramarital, non-fragmentary, and so forth. Then to sing up the English words that will cover one meaning. The result in general is an increase of sloven lines and vagueness. The inflated style itself is a kind of euphemism. A mass of Latin words follow up on the facts like soft snow, blurring the outline and covering up all the details. George Orwell, Politics and the English Language, 1946. It doesn't mean that Sorrel acknowledged good writing as simply a matter of having a few Latinate words as possible, and exchanging them for Anglo-Saxon ones. Sometimes, especially with the new and scientific words, that Latinate word is the only choice. You might even want extra touch of pomposity and harshness that the Latin word brings. But on the whole, Orwell was right. Too literal use of Latin leads a constipated use of English. Kingsley Amis debates the danger of this constipated English in his last posthumously published book, The King's English: A Guide to Modern Usage, 1997, where he divides English language pedants into Burke and Wonkers. Burks are careless, coarse, crass, gross, or what anybody would agree is a lower social class and one. They speak into a sleep-halt way, with a dropped shine, trumpet, glottal stops, and many mistakes in grammar. Left to them, the English language would die in pearlity, like the Latin. Wonkers are pretty, fussy, and priggrish, prim, and they would probably misrepresent a higher social class than ones. They speak in an overpressure way, with a much pedantic insistence of letters not generally sounded especially led them to the language would die of purity like medieval Latin. You come across very few Burke in modern Latin reading world and a lot of Wonkers. Wonkers have a proprietorial attachment of archaism, mostly used to those who want to send out the strong signal, I know this clever thing, and you don't. Wonkers will insist on a correct use of Latin in English when it actually ends up sounding ridiculous. For example, do you think that people like me, who know Latin tends to be genii, who should be heard more often than auditoria? No, I think most genius would think you are a bit of a wonker and would not be bloody too near any auditorium where there was any danger of you turning up. Not too bloody is. You have split in flea with that. To go near any bloody auditory is better. I rest my case. Chris Barton, the former of MIPI, governor of Hong Kong now, is a chancellor of Oxford University, was guilty of classic Wonker's Latin in a review of history of Balliol College by George Jones in The Spectator. January of 26. The foreword for this edition by the university resident vice chancellor and Balliol's quondam Master Collins Lucas, wrote Lord Patton, draws attention to Balliol's recurrent capacity for being out of the tune with the prevailing orthodoxy of the times. Quondam. Quondam, as a basic rule of theme, is immediately qualified that bonker status if you use the Latin word when an English one would be done. Quondam means former, and there would have been absolutely zero effect lost if Lord Patton had written Balliol's former Master Collins Lucas. But then he wouldn't have got all important patina. No pun intended in his words. Itself a bit of wonker Latin. Patina, patinae, feminine, generis. A dish of plate and thus synonymous with the stark green film of oxidation that develops on bronze surfaces. Of supposed intelligence and sophistication that comes with using Latin where plain English will do. Funnily enough, Sir Kingsley's own son Martin comes across a little bit of Wonka in a role when two men once had about the correct use of what dilapidated. The surprisingly literal minded Martin insisted that dilapidated should only be used in its exact sense. Lapis lapidis, stone and word, dilapido dilapidare, to remove stones from which the past participle, dilapidatus, having the stones removed. So Martin was saying that you should really one use the word in this sense. I wished articulated lorry, and hadn't carried in the dry stone wall, and not looks dilapidated. You could, Martin consoled, use it metaphorically, but only if you had a proper sense in mind. So, the Colosseum is looking a bit dilapidated these days, but not. Kirk Douglas is looking a bit dilapidated these days, because it isn't actually missing any physical parts of him, however roughly his might appear.